My only venture at this moment is re-establishing control over this continent and every person on it.
All my allies are gone. I'm losing.
You can count on the Iron Bank as soon as the gold arrives.
Enough with the clever plans.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones Season 7 trailer breakdown video. Today we're going to take a closer look at the most recent preview trailer for Season 7, Episode 4, so we can see what may potentially take place in the very next episode. Shall we begin? The preview starts off with another meeting between Cersei Lannister and Tycho, who is there on behalf of the Iron Bank. And it's no secret that the Crown has been in debt to the Iron Bank for years, and the Lannisters do not have the funds to pay off that debt, which could end up becoming a serious problem for Cersei, because typically when someone can't pay off their loans, the Iron Bank will then start to support their enemies, and Cersei cannot afford to let that happen. Although the Lannisters are kicking Daenerys Targaryen's ass right now, they still need to pay this debt and get the continued support from the bank. In this clip, Cersei lays out her plans of securing the Seven Kingdoms and all of its people under her ruling. She wants to let him know that she will have things under control and they have nothing to worry about, because as we've seen in the last episode, Jaime Lannister sacked Highgarden, and he currently has all of the Tyrell's gold heading back to King's Landing to pay off that debt, and perhaps even hire some more soldiers to fight for their cause. Cersei isn't just looking to pay off the debt, but she wants an army as well, and she's currently in a very good position to get exactly what she wants. But I don't think that gold is ever going to make it back to King's Landing. Jaime will run into a bit of a roadblock on his way home. Next we see Jon, Daenerys, Tyrion, Davos, Varys, and Missandei on the beach of Dragonstone. Daenerys Targaryen has now found herself in a very desperate situation. She tells Jon that all of her allies are gone. Euron Greyjoy wiped out the Ironborn fleet that she had, and most of the Sand Snakes were killed, and Yara, Ellaria, and Tyene are now held captive by the Lannisters. Her Tyrell alliance is now gone as well. Jaime Lannister just took Highgarden, where he had Olenna Tyrell drink poison and most likely die. Although we never saw her die on screen, we probably won't be seeing her again for the rest of this season. The Unsullied just took over an empty Casterly Rock, and had their fleet destroyed by Euron Greyjoy also, so now they're going to have to march all the way back, unless Daenerys can get somebody to pick them up. Daenerys does have a large force of Dothraki soldiers still, but the Lannisters are getting stronger and stronger by the day. Now is the time for Daenerys Targaryen to take the training wheels off and unleash her greatest weapons, which is her dragons. Lady Olenna told her she is a dragon, and she must be a dragon. Daenerys will now take her advice. Next we see Jaime and Bronn looking over the landscape as they make their way back from their victory at Highgarden, and I must say this is a beautiful shot from the trailer. This kind of reminds me of Westworld a lot. During the clip of Jaime and Bronn, we can hear Tycho tell Cersei that she will have the support of the Iron Bank as soon as the gold arrives. Cersei is in an amazing position right now, and she almost seems unstoppable, but like I said before, I don't think that gold is ever going to make it to King's Landing. Daenerys Targaryen is pissed, and she isn't about to allow that one-handed bandit to get that gold all the way back to King's Landing. We then get a very quick glimpse of someone pulling out the Valyrian steel dagger, and this is the same dagger that was used during an assassination attempt of Bran Stark all the way back in Season 1. The last time we saw this dagger, it was sitting on Ned Stark's desk in King's Landing, and the one person who knew exactly where it was is one of the last men who actually touched it, and that is Littlefucker. This does look like Littlefinger's clothes in this clip, so it appears the dagger has made it back to Winterfell where it was used to try and kill someone before, and it's most likely going to be used to kill somebody again. In the last episode, we saw Sansa making some preparations for the winter. She asked the Maester how long was the last winter in the previous 100 years. He said he didn't know, but he would check Maester Luwin's records because he kept a copy of every single Raven scroll. And this caught Littlefinger's attention. He might be worried there is a record in Winterfell of his treachery and fuckery. So, when we see this dagger get pulled, this might be Littlefinger looking to silence someone in Winterfell that may have come across some pretty damaging evidence against him. There is also a possibility that Bran may have seen something in a flashback, and he may confront Littlefinger about it, and Littlefinger may try and silence Bran, but I don't think that's as likely just yet. My first guess would be him trying to kill the Maester, or perhaps even Jon Royce. Or he could just be looking at it and they want us to think it's something more dramatic. We shall see in a few days. We get another scene with Daenerys and company on the beach, and now she's really pissed, and she is done with the clever plans. And once again, this rings back to what Olenna Tyrell told her. She said sometimes you have to ignore the clever man and be a dragon, and she's ready to fuck shit up. Jaime Lannister and company get back on the road headed to King's Landing with wagons full of gold, but one angry dragon queen is heading right at them with a force that's hungry for a victory. I've told you all before, this battle should be spectacular. With all the extras and horses and pyrotechnics they use for this, I'm expecting it to be next level for television show standards. But before Daenerys leaves, she's going to take Jon Snow down into the caves on Dragonstone. That way he can mine for the much-needed dragon glass that he and the realm so desperately needs. I'm just hoping they get enough to arm every man, woman, and child that's going to step foot on the battlefield. We then see Podrick bite the dust in the next clip. Podrick and Brienne will continue to train until the time comes for them to be needed. And I'm going to make a prediction now. I think Podrick will end up killing a major character, or he's going to end up killing a White Walker. They keep showing Brienne and Podrick training for a reason, and Podrick isn't getting trained by no ordinary swordswoman. We all know Brienne is tough as nails, so Podrick should be getting much better by the time that he is needed also. I think Podrick's going to get a dragonglass weapon, or he might even pick up Brienne's sword and he's going to kill somebody. I think he has to because they keep showing us these training scenes, so he eventually has to get better and put these fighting skills to use. But let's move on. Theon arrives on the beach of Dragonstone with a small group of Ironborn men. And this should get very interesting because Jon Snow is there as well, and Jon might have a few choice words for Theon. We all know what happened when Theon held Winterfell hostage for the time that he did. I'm sure Jon's going to have something to say about that, and him not returning to Robb as well. Theon did save Sansa though, so that should be enough to keep Jon from hurting him too bad. We see Jon, Daenerys, and Missandei making their way deeper into the cave. And remember what happened the last time Jon Snow was in a cave? Maybe Missandei should go take a walk on the beach and leave these two alone for a while. We also see another clip of the training session in Winterfell, and this is most likely Brienne and Podrick training, but Brienne could also be training with someone else. Arya Stark will arrive in Winterfell this episode, and there is a very good chance Arya and Brienne are going to train together. We all know Arya loves to train, and she saw what Brienne did to the Hound, so she might want to learn how to do the same thing with a man of that size. The dynamic between Arya and Brienne should be pretty fun to watch, and seeing Arya and Lyanna Mormont together should be fun as well. In the next clip, there is a scene of Littlefucker creeping around Winterfell like always, probably making sure no one discovers any Raven scrolls pertaining to him. But then we get a beautiful shot of Winterfell, as someone overlooks the castle from the hilltop, and that is Arya Stark. A girl has made it back to Winterfell. We have seen another angle of this before in another promo, and I always believed this was Arya Stark looking at Winterfell from top of a hill, because you really can't see any trees or anything else behind her, so I assumed she was up a little bit higher than just being on her horse. This is really cool though, seeing Arya make it home does feel good. Now all we need is Jon Snow to get here, but I'm afraid Jon won't reunite with them until Season 8. I think Jon's going to leave Dragonstone and go straight to the Wall. Then after he completes his mission, we probably won't see him back in Winterfell by the time the season ends, but I am holding out hope. The Sansa and Bran reunion was good, and the Arya and Sansa reunion is going to be good too, but it's not going to even come close to the Arya and Jon reunion and the Bran and Jon reunion. They had very loving relationships with each other, so it should be much more impactful when Jon reconnects with Arya and Bran. But speaking of the Starks, we see Sansa one last time in this trailer, and she's looking over some documents or perhaps even some Raven scrolls that are lying there. She might have discovered something about Littlefinger right here in this scene, and now she has to make a decision how he should be punished. Things are starting to heat up in Winterfell now that the Lone Wolves are forming a pack, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this unfold in the north. And the last scene in the trailer is of Daenerys Targaryen flying high in the sky on the back of her dragon, and she's on a crash course with the Lannister and Tarly army who think they are getting away with the gold, but the Dragon Queen and the Dothraki will have something to say about this. Daenerys Targaryen is flying first class, looking to send them a message written in fire and blood. Comment down below and let me know what you think about this preview trailer. Was there anything that I missed that you want to discuss? Leave it down in the comments so we can talk about it. As always, thank you so much for spending some time to watch the video. I am working on something else that I'm going to release within the next few days, and I think it's going to blow your mind, so stay tuned for that. Make sure those notification bells are turned on because you're not going to want to miss this. But before I go, I want to give a big thanks to my Patreon supporters. I really appreciate all of you helping out this channel whenever you can. That really does mean a lot to me. I hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.